I'm Brian. How's it going? We run Club Stadia here. Club Stadia TV at Twitter is how you find me, by the way, if you are interested. That's when you're going to get your up-to-date information about when I stream. I will share other creators I enjoy and other people we work with here on the Club Stadia. Of course, stadiasource.com is someone we're affiliated with. Go check their website out because they're awesome. And every creator I usually work with or talk to or enjoy their content appears on their content creator section screen. So definitely go check that out because it is some good stuff. But the next thing we're going to talk about, like I said, Ubisoft has announced 5 AAA titles that they are bringing to the system. Okay, that's a lie. They're not bringing it necessarily to Stadia because they haven't announced a lot of these things. But some of these games are announced for Stadia. And I think this is essentially them announcing another one without officially announcing it. So their financial year runs from March to March. So when you see the Q1s and the Q3s in here, it's not your typical quarter ones in a year, or quarter 3 in a year. It's the way they run it. So let's talk about it. So what they did is they announced 5 AAA titles that will be coming out in their next financial year. And these 5 games would be including Watch Dogs Legion, which people are aware of, people are excited for. Gods and Monsters, another one people are excited for. And as far as I know, I hadn't heard about this one personally. Rainbow Six Quarantine. So this is a game that was included in this list that has not officially been announced for a Google Stadia release. But I think that is pretty much them confirming it without confirming it. Because obviously they don't say, hey, it's coming to Stadia now. And it's technically not yet, but they're releasing all their other new games for the platform. So it kind of makes sense, right? Unless they know something now immediately like, no, we're not going to do that now. But that's big news because now we got confirmation of when these games are truly going to be arriving, because they also announced another 2 titles. They haven't announced them yet, but we're going to assume Assassin's Creed is one of them. We've talked about this before. Ragnarok is the rumored title, which kind of deals with the Viking mythology and stuff like that, which would be an awesome setting for an Assassin's Creed game, by the way. And there was a leak for Ragnarok not too long ago, and it did not include Stadia at the time. Now, that could have been just an accidental omission, something that wasn't necessarily in the plans at the moment when that leak happened, or it's just information that just never included. But I think with the new games that are constantly coming out from Ubisoft that find their way onto the platform, or at least we're planning on coming to the platform, we're looking at a new Assassin's Creed game, and a lot of people are going to look at that 5th game as, well, what else could they bring? Could they bring a Splinter Cell game? Could they bring a Far Cry game? Could they bring Rayman? Rayman would be awesome, right? But I don't think it's AAA. I like my platformers, and we're missing some platformers. All right, that's my issue. That's my issue right now. But we're going to talk about the confirmed games, and then, of course, other games that I believe will eventually come to the platform this year, which we will be talking about at the end of this little discussion. Excuse me. So those are big. And with people's financial years ending around this time, this is kind of a good time for new information like this, which is awesome because we've been desperately looking for some new information and we just haven't been getting any. And I'm interested to see what that 5th game will be. I mean, we're assuming Assassin's Creed is that 4th game. We don't know for sure, but we're pretty sure. We're pretty sure at this moment. But I believe who just said that? Let me look up over here because my next point was already being brought up and I didn't say anything. It's not showing up in this little chat thing. What the hell? I don't like that. That's not loading. Okay. Well, I can see it on YouTube, so I want you to know. It's weird why it just doesn't show up right there. There it is. Okay, cool. Charles mentions The Crew 2. Now, The Crew 2 is one of the next games to come out for Stadia, by the way, because The Division 2 and The Crew 2 during this financial report from Ubisoft, they mention what will be coming, because that's usually what they do during these financials. They'll say X games coming out for the platform, X games coming out, because investors want to know this kind of thing. Like, what can we expect? And what can we expect indeed? The Division 2 and The Crew 2, quarter 1 of this year, will be coming to Stadia. Now, we don't know when, but it was specifically mentioned that we are going to be looking at these games coming to the platform by their 4th quarter. So their 4th quarter, as already mentioned, is that January to March area because it's the end of their financial year. It's our quarter 1 that we just look at, quarter 1, first 3 months of the year. So these are two games we already knew about, but we didn't have a release date for. People are excited for The Crew 2. Personally, me, I would like to try that as well. I don't know. I've never played a Crew game. I've also never played a Tom Clancy Division game or a Tom Clancy game since I was like 10 years old, because I played Rainbow Six, I think. Tom Clancy Rainbow Six. It was a Tom Clancy game for the Nintendo 64, and I was god awful at it. And that kind of turned me off from the series entirely. And I probably should revisit it, because you don't think, or you don't know. Let me back up. Games have changed in the last, I don't know, 12 years. Oh, wait, that's not even close to being right. Last 20 years. No, wait. Last 25. I'm getting old, man. It's been about 25 years probably since I played a Tom Clancy game when it was on the 64. And man, I'm getting old, man. I don't like this. But The Crew 2, that's a game I'm excited to try. And I'm interested to see. I don't want to say this too early. We're supposed to be getting Uplay Plus at some point this year, and I was hesitant to buy in trials because of that. But that deal is too good. And I feel like all the games that Ubisoft will release will be available as a part of Uplay Plus on Stadia. And I would love for it to release around this time, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to release Uplay Plus with 6 games they have on the platform right now. That's a little too barren. You want to charge people $10 for a subscription to play that. But obviously these games will more likely be a part of that. But in the meantime, I hope these games don't launch at the $60 price mark, because man, how old are these games at this point? Because you don't want to pull that maneuver. Okay, The Crew 2 came out in 2018. 2 years ago. Just judging by what we have on the platform, I think $40 is probably what you'll see The Crew 2 for. Because I'm kind of just comparing with Rise of the Tomb Raider, which launched at $30. I believe it's at $30 right now. The Division 2, I could see at $60. I think that'd be a mistake too. I hope both these. I'm going to simply predict that The Crew 2 will be a $40 game. I think Division 2 will be a $60 game. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Do you think these games are going to be games that will release at full price, or will they be a little cheaper just because, they've been out for a little while on other platforms? I know when the system was coming out, or the service was coming out, people were like, "Oh, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, $60, man, on Stadia. It's way too expensive. It's full game price." And people weren't realizing that that's the definitive edition that literally released like a week ago on everything. So like it literally included all the DLC. So I think we're looking at our first venture into older games coming out for the platform that we're looking to see what kind of pricing point they're going to go with. Because how old was Breakpoint? Ghost Recon Breakpoint came out. It came out later that year. But that was a newer game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Division 2 is at $40, but I think that will be a $60 game. But again, if The Crew 2 launches at $40, I will pick that up right away. If it launches at $60, I'm waiting for a sale on that, because I always find it hard to spend $60 on a racing game. And if you watched me play Supercross 3 the other day in my video review, if you haven't, by the way, go click it. Click my name after this live stream and go watch it. Fun little video. And I kind of highlight one of the Stadia features of, can you be interested in refunding this game if you play under 2 hours? Which just the time I played with it, it was not worth my $60. So that's why, I go into it in there. Go watch it. I just kind of spoiled a little bit of it. But point is, I'm not the biggest fan of spending a lot of money on racing games, and I'm really hoping The Crew 2 launches at that lower price. But I think we get a release date this week for the games I just mentioned. I'm being hopeful, very hopeful. I think they've learned the lesson to absolutely not be silent for a whole week, because it's not worked out well for them when it comes to the community, and just kind of blown up saying, "Oh man, they've been silent. They're dying. They don't care about the platform anymore." Like, just saying, just kind of reviewing the week, just kind of saying, "Hey, we're still here. here's the update for the week. Here's what you can expect. Here's what games have been updated this week. That, I think they learned a lesson with that. Darth Tux is talking about Crew 2 as well. It's on sale on Steam right now for $32 for the gold edition, $20 for basic. Regular price is $80 for basic and $130 for gold. Holy shnikes. Okay, those Canadian prices? Because $80 for basic is way more than the standard price here in the US. I think those might be Canadian dollars. Okay, well, either way, man, there's a $100 version of Crew. I think that's nuts. I know Ubisoft does their gold editions every year for like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and all their games, but yeah. Oh man, it's $60 normally. That's depressing. That is depressing. Now let me look here. So Steam. And the Crew 2 is really $60 normally. It's been out for a while. Wow. $15 in US dollars. Man, I can't believe it's that expensive of a title still. It's almost 2 years old. All right, well. Ubisoft games do a lot of sales, so I would look out for a sale on that for sure. So I guess maybe there's your answer is you're going to see both the Crew and the Division launch at $60. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.